What is up, my boys? We're finally here with our NPL Minors Week 1 battle versus fellow Trick of Eye member I. And this is going to be a doozy of a battle because I is a good friend of mine. He's a fellow poster on the channel. But in NPL Minors, there's no such thing as friendship. And no matter who you are, I'm going to toss you if you accept my challenge to battle. And I is going with the maximum disrespect, challenging me on the TMT Represent account. The account I've been on and played with him on during our TMT battles. So you already know that I can show no mercy versus this man. So I'm looking at team matchup and I'm happy about three things actually. One, he didn't bring the Cobalion, which I'm happy to find. If you look at my team, it gets pretty much wrecked by Ironhead close combat outside of Slowbro. And even with Slowbro, he can Volt Switch out and pressure me a lot with his momentum. Second, I see no Duck Trio, so I don't have to be worried about trapping at all. Of course, I had measures and counters to Duck Trio trapping, but the fact that I don't have to play in a certain way to sort of mitigate his trapping ability is good in my eyes. And then third, I see no Linoon, so that means I can play my Hydreigon a lot more recklessly, and I don't have to preserve it like I preserve it in the back like I would have had to with Linoon. But just because he didn't bring those three monster Pokemon doesn't mean his team is any less threatening. The first things that pop into my mind is he brought the Latios. I knew he would because it dunks on my team. Calm Mind Z move. Really, any Latios set he brings can body my entire team, so I have to be scared of that. He brought the Mega Aerodactyl. I knew he would bring that as well. It pretty much, Mega Aerodactyl matches up very well against my entire team. Something like Stone Edge Earthquake hits my entire team perfectly outside of Slowbro, which is very threatening. And if he ever Toxic Slowbro, he can just start wearing my entire team down. And since it's faster and everything, he can pretty much just win off the back of Mega Aerodactyl alone. And then his middle four are all big threats. Rotom Heat, something I'm especially scared of due to the fact that I have no electric immunity, so it's almost always going to be able to grab up momentum unless I make some nice predictions or get rid of it early. Manaphy can be literally any set and be annoying. Things like, it could be like U-Turn, it could be Rain Dance Calm Mind, which I'm really scared of. Things like Sub Tail Glow. So overall, Manaphy is just a huge threat, and I have to scout around it to see what it is. Donphan is a threatening, is an electric immunity that's better than the trio at taking hits. He could be an Assault Vest variant, he could be a Rock Setting variant, he could be Fizz Def variant for my Infernape. He could even be something like Rock Polish and 6-0 me if I'm not careful. And then finally, he has Alolan Ninetales. Now, the Alolan Ninetales is scary, but it's the Mon I'm least scared of because I have a counter in Empoleon and it's able to break the Aurora Veil. But if he ever like sleeps Empoleon or kills Empoleon, if I play it too recklessly and he sets the Veil up, then GG boys, you're looking at Illusion getting 6-0'd by any one of the Pokemon on II's team. So yeah, let's get into the battle. So looking at this team matchup, I just lead Empoleon, which was my plan from the very beginning if you've watched my team builder. Sorry for the no nicknames in this battle, but it'll definitely, these Pokemon will definitely have nicknames in the next battle. But I played this before I was able to get nicknames for a lot of my Pokemon. But yeah, this is the perfect situation for me to Final Gambit. He didn't lead something like Latios, which could be Scarf and just kill me. So I don't have to really play around or do anything. There's no Ghost immunity. Final Gambit just right here, right now gets a kill. And if getting rid of Rotom for Staraptor would be a good trade in my eyes, because it'll be a lot harder for him to grab momentum versus my team. Especially with the fact that I have no electric immunity on this team. So right here, I just go for the Final Gambit. And hallelujah! Praise the Lord! He goes into Aerodactyl. And right now, Staraptor just gets rid of one of the biggest threats to my entire team, turn 1. He probably expected something along the lines of like Banded Double Edge, which would have sent Rotom Heat to hell. But he brings in Aerodactyl, probably not expecting the max HP Final Gambit, and I catch him with his pants down. Mega Aerodactyl gets blown all the way back, and this trade, Staraptor for Mega Aerodactyl, is the best case scenario turn 1. That was Staraptor killing Aerodactyl was best case scenario. So that's really, really good. Shout outs to Crypto, which I named him after, which I named the Staraptor after in my future battles. But shout outs, he got rid of the biggest threat turn 1, and I'm feeling good. So right here, he goes Rotom Heat, and I go Hydreigon. I went Hydreigon because it matched up well outside for everything outside of Latios and Alolan Ninetales. And if you went Alolan Ninetales, I can just Empoleon. And if you went Latios, I could scout his set, see if he's like a Calm Mind, see if he's Specs, Life Orb, or really anything along those lines. I'd be able to scout him out. And Hydreigon does very well against Donphan, Rotom Heat, and Manaphy. So right here, I can just go for Dark Pulse, get this low. He goes for the Pain Split, predicting the Draco Meteor, but I don't really care that much. I can just keep clicking Dark Pulse. He could bring in the Alolan Ninetales, but like I said, I have Empoleon in the back, which I made to counter Alolan Ninetales. So I Dark Pulse again as he Volt Switches out. I get a Rotom Heat below 50%, which will matter, especially if I get Rocks up. I can start whittling that thing down and keeping up momentum. And if I get rid of Rotom Heat, that's good because I really doesn't have any other ways to grab momentum for free outside of the Rotom Heat. But yeah, he just Volt Switches out and he goes to Alolan Ninetales, and he's thinking, II's thinking, is this is the perfect time to set up Aurora Veil and then start the horror show for my team. But little does he know, I have a measure for that. I go Empoleon as he goes for the Aurora Veil. Now, if you watch my team builder, you know that this thing has Brick Break, and Alolan Ninetales can do nothing to Empoleon. I mean, the best he can do is Hypnosis, which I've never seen anybody hit Hypnosis ever, or to go for like a Hidden Power Ground, which honestly will bounce off and still allow me to break the Aurora Veil, which is Empoleon's main deal, breaking the Aurora Veil. So I just go for Brick Break as he goes to Rotom Heat, and that Brick Break does a good amount of damage. And with this Brick Break damage, this puts him in range of Aqua Jet. Which, if you watch my team builder, you know that I have teched on Empoleon for the trio. But as I talked about on my team builder, with Rotom Heat low, usually he'd be right here. He'd be able to Pain Split and cause trouble. But with Rotom Heat low, I can just Aqua Jet and kill him right here, right now. I go for Aqua Jet, it kills. The Aqua Jet crit, that crit didn't matter. With my investment, Aqua Jet always killed Rotom Heat from that range, even with II's investment. But that crit did matter with the fact that II wasn't able to gauge what my set was. If he saw that Aqua Jet just killed naturally without the crit, he would have known that I had a lot of attack investment, which would have been important in determining how much bulk I had for something like his Latios or Manaphy set. But yeah, I get rid of Rotom Heat right then and there, thanks to Empoleon's Aqua Jet picking it off, which I'm feeling really good at this point. Two really big threats, Rotom Heat, which grabbed momentum versus everything, and Mega Aerodactyl, which I believe was probably the biggest threat to my entire team, are gone. And right here, he can just go Manaphy, and I just switch on to Tapu Koko. I don't want to be playing any games around the Manaphy. If he goes for like Calm Mind, Rain Dance, or something like that, I could just lose right here. If he goes for Sub, I can Volt Switch out, or just Thunderbolt and pressure the Manaphy. I just don't want this doing any crazy setup shenanigans and me just losing here. Manaphy is always a threat. Rain Dance, Calm Mind. If he Tail Glows, if he subs, I just want Tapu Koko in versus it because it beats Manaphy. He goes for the knockoff, which is an interesting tech, but which is definitely interesting. So this kind of leads me to kind of believe that he's a more bulky variant, but just because he is knockoff doesn't necessarily mean he's not a Tail Glow, max special attack, max speed variant. So I'm still wary of this Manaphy setup opportunities, but knockoff is one less coverage move it has with versus my team. So right here, obviously he's gonna switch out because Manaphy just drops to a Thunderbolt in the electric terrain, and I don't want to go to a Volt Switch because if he brings in the Donphan, I just lose momentum right there, and I have to switch out into something like Hydreigon. And if he makes some good predictions, if he makes some good prediction and starts getting up rocks, that kind of puts me on the back foot, which I don't want to be in right now. II's team is still a huge threat with that Latios and Manaphy in the back. So I just go for the Dazzling Gleam. He goes into Alolan Ninetales. I just see this as a free Volt Switch. Even if he goes into Donphan right here. Oh, also another thing. He shows Leftovers, which shows that his Aurora Veil is only 5 turns rather than 8. But with my Brick, I'm going to always be Brick Breaking it with Empoleon anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I just go for the Volt Switch. If he goes Donphan there, it doesn't really matter because I'm fine with just switching out and losing momentum because I got some damage off on the Alolan Ninetales. So I just Volt Switch right here and bring in Empoleon like was my plan in the Team Builder. I always bring in Empoleon. And right here, I can Brick Break again. And yeah, so right here is something interesting is usually Empoleon would body Donphan with something like Scald, but I don't have Scald. So in actuality, this Donphan walls my Empoleon set completely. Aqua Jet does like negative damage because Donphan is so physically bulky and Aqua Jet is such a low base power move. So I can't really do anything to this Donphan, so I have to switch out. I switch out into Slowbro, playing it safe. I could have went into Hydreigon, maybe predicting the Stealth Rock or the Earthquake, but I didn't want him going wild and going for like Play Rough or even like Superpower or something. I just go for Slowbro for the safe play, and right here I can throw off a Toxic. He has no immunities, and anything getting Toxic is good for my team, wearing it down. I talked to the Manaphy. He could still be something like Rain Dance, but I'm less scared if he's Rain Dance Rest because that means he can't have Calm Mind. He could only have something like Scald unless he's mono knockoff attacking, which I really don't believe he's that set. So getting Manaphy Toxic is good, and I just switch out here because I don't want to take like an Energy Ball or something. And he goes for the Toxic. So the reason I went Hydreigon is because once I saw Knockoff, I didn't think he'd go for the Dazzling Gleam right there. That would be a very hard prediction. I thought he would go for like either the Knockoff again, or he'd just go for like an Energy Ball or something. But so I just bring in Hydreigon because it covers all those plays. And if Hydreigon comes in, I can get the rocks off. And if he shows, and I can kind of scout his moveset depending on what he goes for, if he goes for Energy Ball or something. And he reveals Toxic. So at this point, he's knockoff Toxic. I think he's like a really bulky set. He could be Rest, but I really don't think he has the Dazzling Gleam. And if he does, I have a lot of speed on my Hydreigon. I wouldn't think he'd be like max speed knockoff or something along those lines. I think he'd have a lot of Fizz Def Bolt. So right here, I just go for Defog. Get those rocks out the field. He switches out, kind of revealing that he doesn't have the Dazzling Gleam, and he's kind of scared of my Hydreigon speed. So, yeah. My Hydreigon gets really low. I go into Empoleon. This is another opportunity for me to Brick Break again. I can't ever let him set up Aurora Veil for free, even at this point. He goes into Donphan. So right here, I know he's going to set up rocks, so just go for Earthquake. So I just make the hard read and go Hydreigon. And right here, he could reveal the Ice Shard, but him revealing Ice Shard was giving me information for my set. And if he does reveal Ice Shard, I can go into Slowbro and start pressuring some more with either Toxic or Scald. Manaphy is getting super low with the Toxic damage, especially. And so I don't mind Hydreigon going down here if he has Donphan, and I can kind of scout if he has Ice Shard in the back. I go for Dark Pulse, get this Donphan really low. I flinch it. That didn't really matter because my Hydreigon died anyways. But it still sucks for Aya. A little salt in the wound from that crit from earlier. Both bounce attacks didn't really matter. But it still sucks to get hacked no matter what the situation. So here I can just go Slowbro like I said. And Donphan's really low, which means Coco is looking very good at this point in time. I go for the Skull. No burn. So a little bit of justice for Aya, not really though. But yeah, like I said, like you saw earlier, I could just keep going Empoleon, going for the Brick Break. No matter what he does, I can just keep going for the Brick Break. And now he goes Manaphy here, and I don't think he has the Rain Dance Rest, especially when he's just knockoff Toxic. So right here, I just want to get Manaphy lower and I don't want to really want to switch in anything. So I just go for, yeah. So I want to get mana fee lower. I want to set up my rocks, which would pressure the Alolan Ninetales a lot, pressure the Donphan to spin, and get some residual damage on the Latios. He just goes for Surf, predicting me to go into Tapu Koko. At this point, he has to make plays because he's very far in the back at this current moment in time. But yeah, I just stay in. If he goes for knockoff and he knocks off my left shoulder, I just go for Throat Chop. That does negative damage because of how bulky Manaphy is. With the Toxic and Hail Up, this would be doing a lot of residual damage. Maybe in this situation, I shouldn't have let Empoleon's leftovers get knocked off. But at this point in time, I don't think he's able to set up Aurora Veil versus anything on my team. Except for Slowbro. With the Rocks up, I don't think he can ever switch in Alolan Ninetales. And he can't really set up Aurora Veil versus anything in my team. So I'm willing to let Empoleon get weakened. Especially under the fact that Manaphy can't really do much to Empoleon. So yeah. Alright, I just do damage. I switch out here. I don't want to get it too, I don't want it to get too low. I predict him to either Surf again. Yeah, I predict him to Surf again. I didn't want to get Empoleon too low because I thought his Aqua Jet was valuable. I was willing to sack it, but with Manaphy not being able to do anything at this point, I'm just pulling double switches to get it low off toxic damage. And it doesn't really matter if my Empoleon dies at this point in time. So I'm willing to play it a lot more recklessly and pull some doubles. And as you saw, he's not really capable of doing anything to Slowbro. So right here is the Donphan. And right here, I'm just going to pray that Aqua Jet kills and go for the Aqua Jet. It doesn't kill, as you just saw. It actually did negative damage. It did 25%. Didn't even kill a Donphan from that low. So, kind of disappointed in Empoleon, but it did put in a lot of work versus the Rotom Heat, Ninetales, and the Manaphy. So, I forgive him for that. He goes for the Rapids, getting rid of those rocks for Ninetales and Latios. But he gets rid of the rock. But right here, I'm just going to go for the rocks again, and something funny and kind of interesting happens. He goes for the Rapid Spin, predicting me to go for rocks. So good play on Ai's part. But he's actually like a speedy Donphan or something like that. And he outspeeds my Empoleon. And I get up the rocks anyway. So now I get up rocks for free with my Empoleon still alive. And I can just Aqua Jet kill this Donphan right here, right now. So that was just a funny play that really worked in my favor. The fact that I was able to keep rocks up and keep my Empoleon alive, just due to the fact that he miscalculated whether his Donphan was faster than my Empoleon. I was shocked that he outsped me as well, but he must have been running a bunch of speed on Donphan. But this was best possible scenario for Empoleon. And he brings in the Latios, and I have no idea what this is. It could be Calm Mind, it could be Dragon Dance. I didn't think he'd bring Dragon Dance. I was thinking it was like Calm Mind or something. Could be like Calm Mind Salad Berry. But I don't want this setting up. This is why I have Throat Chop. And he reveals the Earthquake. So this kind of shows that he's like a Dragon Dance set. This kind of shows that he's a Dragon Dance set. And right here, I don't want him setting up. And Tapu Koko, he can't set up on the Tapu Koko. And right here, I'm thinking I go for Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam here won't kill the Latios. He can Dragon Dance up. He can kill my Koko with Earthquake, and I go into Slowbro. And at this point in time, he had Z Outrage, +1 Z Outrage. And once I brought the Slowbro in on a +1 Z Outrage, I think it would have been a roll whether it killed or not, a roll in my favor. And if he didn't kill, I'd win right there and Ice Beam, get rid of the Latios, and then beat the Alolan Ninetales with my Scarf Infernape in the back, probably winning 1-0. But if it does kill, he wins 2-0. But right here, I go for the Dazzling Gleam, and I critical hit the Latios. I just want to go out there and say it. That crit did matter. Dazzling Gleam does like 78% max damage to Latios. So sorry to II for hacking right there. I think in the end game, it would have came down to a roll versus Slowbro, whether who won or not. But I just get the crit right there, and now the game is pretty much over with Alolan Ninetales coming in. I could just kill that with my Coco. So yeah, GG the II. That endgame hacks kind of sucked, but I think I still had it due to the fact that +1 outrage was a roll in my favor to whether he killed or not. Because he wasn't adamant Latios, +1 Z outrage wouldn't have been able to kill Slowbro, and the Ice Beam would have been able to pick it off. Slowbro would have, Alolan Ninetales would have killed Slowbro, and then Infernape would have came in and won. But that crit definitely did matter at the very least for differential. If I didn't get that crit, I would have won 1-0, but because I got that crit, I won 3-0, which in the grand scheme of things is actually very important. But GG the II, I managed to come out this Civil War victorious. I want to make a shout out to all the people that I'm going to name my Pokemon after: Dougie, Soup, Crypto, Jack Fitz, and Mayo. You'll see you guys' nicknames in the next battle, but see you guys later. Thanks for watching.